like to comment on BBC programmes, please write to Points of View, BBC Television, London, W12, 7RJ. Phone or fax 081 576 4560.
A new season, a new menu for Chef, flavoured with dishes for discerning gourmets.
That one.
A dash of diplomacy.
Crispin, is that bowlful under your arm ever going to become a bechamel, or is it some kind of recherche fashion accessory you're currently affecting?
Yes, Chef.
A soupçon of charm.
Get me a large knife sharp like a razor this instant. I have to castrate the person who made this sauce, and I want to avoid any unnecessary suffering.
A recipe of culinary chaos. Chef begins tomorrow at 9:30 on BBC1.
It's like you resent folk leaving rubbish.
I do.
At the cutting edge of waste disposal, they're common as mud.
Now you sweep it up, otherwise I'm on the phone to your boss.
You're a miserable old witch, man.
You can't just sack them. The rest of them see we mean business. We're not firing blanks anymore.
Not one of them's grown up.
You're not paid to think. You're a bin man.
I'm married. I'm not starting anything.
There's a very funny smell in here.
Common as muck begins in half an hour on BBC1.
A surprise birthday party for Grace, reunited with her two sisters on BBC2 shortly. They'll be the ones under fire.
The inside story on big-time car crime, with the people who fight it.
It's an ongoing battle of wits.
Now we're going for them.
And the people who suffer it.
Just not fair. And these people should be stopped. And I'm so angry.
BBC1's inside story on car crime, Thursday the 15th of September at 10.
Now, on BBC1, the 9 o'clock news with Michael Buerk.
John Major has declared total opposition to the idea of a two-tier Europe. He said he recoils from the suggestion of a hard core of countries at the centre of the Union and Britain on the outside. Ulster Securities relaxed a little, but the government's still looking for more from the IRA. And Benetton's been cleared of cheating over the Pit Lane fire. Good evening. The Prime Minister's firmly ruled out the idea of a two-tier European Union. He said there was real danger in talk of a hard core of states, leaving other countries excluded. But earlier in the day, Chancellor Kohl of Germany appeared to be pushing the plan. Progress, he said, can't be held up by the slowest ship in the convoy. Mr Major's remarks came in a set-piece speech at Leiden University in the Netherlands. He insisted Britain was committed to Europe, but the right sort of Europe. The Prime Minister was responding to suggestions last week from within both France and Germany that they, together with the three Benelux countries, could press ahead to form a European inner circle, agreeing on monetary and political union. That would leave the rest to proceed at a slower pace, with correspondingly less influence on European policy.
European electorate on a Dutch canal side tonight. John Major had taken to the university town of Leiden his message that low election turnouts had demonstrated Europe's unpopularity. Europe's institutions, he warned, had to become more flexible or they would break under the strain of enlargement. Earlier in his speech, he starkly rejected French and German calls for the development of an inner hard core of European Union nations, and he sought to destroy what he called the caricature of Britain as the one-nation awkward squad.
It is high time that the caricature of Britain in Europe was buried for good. We have a commitment which surely gives Britain the right, just as each other member has the same right, to advance her reasoned views without constant questioning of our European credentials.
Mr Major didn't rely on policy spin doctors to tease out his opposition to a two-tier Europe, but spelt it out quite plainly.
So I see a real danger in talk of a hard core, inner and outer circles, a two-tier Europe. I recoil from ideas for a union in which some would be more equal than others. There is not, and there never should be, an exclusive hard core either of countries or of policies.
More for domestic consumption, the Prime Minister set his face against any increase in powers for the European Parliament and underlined his anti-federalist commitment to a Europe of nation-states.
We must wait and see if over time our electorates begin to take the European elections more seriously. But for now, it would, in my judgment, be premature to consider a further increase in the Parliament's powers.
But if Mr Major's remarks were well received by his Dutch host, Prime Minister Wim Kok, there was a stark contrast with his former ally, Chancellor Kohl, who insisted today in the German Parliament that Germany was and would remain the motor of developments in Europe. Chancellor Kohl stressed that political union remained the German goal, adding, "We do not under any circumstances want the slowest ship in the convoy to stop developments in Europe." Mr Major's response to first French and German manoeuvrings in the run-up to the 1996 Intergovernmental Conference to review the Maastricht Treaty was a firm one.